friends, I'm Kyla. Well, actually, I'm Frank, but Kyla just came back from a convention last night, very late, and is very EP, so isn't going to be showing their face in this unboxing. However, I've had 2 books arrive, so I figured I would at least film me unboxing them. I'm just too sleepy to be on camera and look halfway decent. So we have my lovely boy Frank here instead. So we have the January Evernight and the Illumicrate books for January. I do know what both of these books are. I've forgotten what all the items are going to be for Illumicrate, but I'm very excited. I'm excited for both of these books, actually. So without further ado, let us have a look at them and see what they are. I'm going to start with the Illumicrate box, I think, and finish off with the horror box from Evernight. I will put bookmarks in this video so you can skip to either one if you don't wish to see one or the other. So here is the January box. The theme is Power of Death. I will show you the spoilers, so feel free to skip if you don't wish to see this. I will not be looking. I'll just be putting the camera at it briefly. There we go. That is the spoilers. And then next month's book is also one I'm actually very excited for. I do know what this book is. The theme for it is A Crew of My Own, and it's going to include fandoms from The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, Godkiller, and the Illuminate Files. The first 2, at least, I know and love. Illuminate Files is something I do want to take a look at. And apparently also, our February box will contain our next set of bookmarks. Wondering if that's going to be for Godkiller, because that feels like the right kind of thing for it. Anyway, on to the box items. There's something very large here. Oh god, that is large. So let's have a look at that first before we take a look at the other items. So this is a Petals and Poisons ceramic bowl set. Let's just have I'm just going to quickly have a look to see if this is based off anything. No, this is just basically a themed kind of thing. It's made by Adrienne Brescian. Craft masterworks of the finest magics, but don't confuse your bluebells for your belladonna with our latest ceramic bowl set. So I guess like a little bit inspired by belladonna, but not hugely. I already have a couple of sets of these and I really like the designs they do, but I also don't really use them at the moment, but I kind of keep them for future when I will have my own house, basically. So I'm going to open this off camera because this is way too hard to do with one hand, but I will show you them in a second. Okay, so here are the bowls. They're actually very similar to another set of bowls that we've had, which is like Gideon the Ninth themed, I think, or just like dark white themed. But I really like this, like the grave kind of thing going on in this one, and then we've got a dark rose, and then it's more just like flowers and vines on this one. Oh, we got some potion bottles as well. What does that say? Forget me not, sleep. The other ones don't seem to have them. And then another rose. So yeah, these are really nice. They're also like quite a good size. If you can tell, these are ceramic, dishwasher safe, microwave safe, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I really like these. I will definitely use them eventually, just not right now because I have too many pots already. The next item is actually a pair of socks. These are ankle socks, which I'm not really super crazy on. I also do remember having a pair of socks before from Illumicrate, inspired by the Principle of Moments, and whilst they were nice, they weren't the best quality. I only wore them like twice and it got a hole in one of them. So they're not amazing quality. I don't know if these are any better. This is apparently Magic and Mortem socks, inspired by the Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, which I have read. I was like, wait, I haven't read that one. No, that's belladonna. I did read it. It was okay. I didn't love it. It was fine. It was very standard romantasy. This is just like, I don't know, like weird fruit and crowns and stuff. I guess it's supposed to be foxgloves. They're fine. I'll wear them, I guess, but I don't love them. They're not something I would have picked up myself to wear, but I always need socks, so I guess I will at least wear them. next we have another storybook setting location magnet. I'm not really crazy on these, to be honest. I've actually sold or given away all of mine. I think they're a nice idea, but I don't always like the locations that have been picked. This one is Arcana Academy, which is a book that I got an ARC for last year, and it was okay, but I ended up DNFing it because I didn't really like it that much. It is really nice though. I do like this as a magnet. This is one of those that, like, even if you didn't know it was Arcana Academy, it's still pretty cool. So I may actually end up keeping this one. I like the Zodiac theme. I like that it's a magic school. You can kind of get away with it not necessarily like knowing this is Arcana Academy for this one. So yeah, I gotta say, I think this is possibly the nicest of the storybook magnets we've had so far. It's subtle enough, I think, without it necessarily being like too in your face about it. And I think it's a really nice design in all. And the final item we have is inspired by the Book of the Mum, but these are interesting. These are reusable cotton ball covers. I guess it's to protect your bowls, I suppose, which isn't really a bad shout because we've been getting all these really nice, like, ceramic bowls of designs, and I am a little afraid of having them out and them getting chipped. So I like the idea of this. Let's have a look at the design though. It's looking very orange from what I can tell, which isn't usually a favourite colour of mine. So this is them. They're, I guess, exactly what they look like on the tin, to be honest. They're not particularly amazing. I could have easily made something like this out of craft fabric. To be honest, I don't really love the designs. I guess they're like peaches or something related to the books. We do have them in different sizes though, which I do like. So we have like a little saucer one, a mid plate, and then like, I guess, a bowl. This one would be. They're fine. They're a bit of a weird item, to be honest. But I think I would use them. So for that, I'm not mad about it, especially because we did get the bowls as well, and they do kind of go together as a set, even though this is definitely not the style of what the balls are, or any of the balls, to be honest, that we've had so far. But yeah, those are the items. I don't particularly love any of them, sadly. I think the best thing here is the bowls, and I do quite like the magnet actually. For once, I think I will keep it, but I'm not really fussed about these, although I'll use them. And also the same for this. I think the design is honestly kind of ugly, but I will probably use them, or I may just sell them on because I don't really care that much about them. But let us actually go take a look at the book, because that is what I am excited for, because I really want to read this book. Okay, so here we are. This is the book. It is a complete redesign from the original book, which I will put here so you can see the difference. I don't mind the original cover, but it is kind of very basic fantasy. I really like what they've done with this. I think the colour choice is stunning. I really like, I think there's like, there's a little bit of foiling going on here. You can just about see. The rest isn't foiled, but it's just really coloured very nicely. And then that goes over. And then, yeah, the picture carries on onto the back. And I was trying to see if there was foiling on these flowers at the bottom, but there isn't. It's just kind of coloured nicely. But yeah, that's really pretty. Sprayed edges. We've got this like peachy colour that's being carried on with some stars. Ooh, so this is kind of carrying the picture onto the side, or it's just, yeah, it's just more of the city, I guess, of the Emperor's city, which, yeah, that's really pretty. I really like that design. Inside, we do have character art, which is very pretty. I really like that. I really like the concept of this book, because the idea is that magic is used with poetry and words. So you can kind of see that happening here, I guess, with the prince, I think, can do it. And I guess this is our main character. It isn't signed from the looks of it. There is a author letter put in here, And yeah, let's have a look at the back and see if we've got different art. We do. Okay, no reverse dust jacket, I've just noticed. And yeah, and then this is like her working, I think. Really nice art though. I really like the vibes this book is giving off. Okay, let me take the dust jacket off and we'll see what they've done underneath. Okay, so this is the underneath. It's giving like snowy winter, but with these like, I don't know, persimmons or peaches or something. Nice foiling on the sides. It's pretty, but it's not very overwhelming. It's a bit underwhelming, I've got to say. I think the actual dust jacket cover is nicer, but I don't hate this. I think it's pretty enough. It's just not like blowing me away. But yeah, overall, I really like the design of this book, and it is a book I'm excited to read. So I will actually tell you also what the book is about. Or should I say, Frank will tell you. Okay, so the author is Chantal. This is her first book, so it's her debut novel. I want to say it's adult, but it might actually be YA. But she is actually kind of inspired by both Chinese and Western stories. She emigrated to Canada at an early age, and that is kind of, I guess, where her inspiration for this book is taken from. And yeah, the actual book premise then. Young rice farmer Yin Wei was forced to become concubine to Prince Guan Terran, a monstrous wielder of poetry magic and heir to the Azalea throne, to save her family from the famine blighting the land of Tensha. Now confined to the imperial court, Terran's cruelty is not the only danger Wei faces. He and his honourable older brother are locked in a deadly succession war, while Terran's 30 concubines are fighting a war of their own for the position of future empress. To survive, Wei must harden her heart, rely on her wit, and become dangerous herself, even if it means learning the one forbidden poem that can kill Terran and save both herself and the nation. But there's a problem. For the spell to work against a man she hates, it must be written with love. So yeah, really intrigued by this. We've had some really good like Chinese or Western inspired books fantasy wise coming out recently, and this is definitely one of the ones that I think I am interested in. I think will hopefully be really good. It has potential to be good at the very least. And yeah, I really like this design. This was the main reason why I did want this box, was for the book, so I'm definitely not mad about it. I'm not crazy about the items, as I said, but if not worse, they're not dreadful items. I just wish they were maybe designed a little bit nicer. But yeah, that is the Illumicrate. So let us go on to Evernight. Okay, so this is the Evernight book. We Call Them Witches by India Rose Bauer. And first thoughts are, I like this cover. I was a little unsure at first until I actually saw the picture. This is like foiled as well, which is really nice. And yeah, I actually do much prefer this cover to the original version, which is this. I think it's very boring, to be honest, the original cover, but I do like the vibe that this one is giving. Also a book I really want to read, especially because this author is actually going to be at an event I'm going to in a couple of months' time, so it's great I actually get to read their book. I don't know if this is their first book or not. Wow, those are really nice sprayed edges. Also, we have this like really creepy foresty guy here in the middle with like, is that a ship? Kind of stuck in him. And then these like little witchy tokens. Yep, that got another witchy token here on the side. And then on the back, we have more of this foresty thing. And this really creepy like ram girl. And some other things here. That's really creepy. I really like that. Sprayed edges, we've got the same all the way. It's like this kind of purple, dark purple, like muted colours. I don't love it, but like the muted colours does tend to work with the horror. And you can see we've got these like straw dolls kind of in there as well. So it definitely fits like the more muted colours and tones we've got. We've also got another straw doll up here as well, just noticing it. So yeah, I like that. I'm not blown away, but I do think that's pretty. The cover art is very like folktale almost. So I guess these are all the witches. Yeah, this reminds me of like old children's books that you would read, only make it haunted. I guess. I like it. It's creepy, but like in a good way. Has been signed by the author. That looks like a real signature as well. Don't know if they've done anything else. Yes, there is an offer letter as well. And then the back. Ooh, okay, that's fucking creepy. Yo, that's really heckin' creepy. I don't know what is happening to this poor kid here. That is some Cthulhu stuff right there. That is terrifying. I'm guessing it's the tree creature or whatever that we saw on the front, but yikes. So under the dust jacket, however, this is where I think it's really exciting. I love what they've done here. It's like a bestiary notebook, essentially. So we've got all these different creatures and like various notes around it. Do not go into the city. Tested runes. A head came first. Human but naked, of emotion, eyes open and unseeing. Words, keep them out. Wear adder stones. Don't listen to them scream. What does this one say? Its face was gone from the gore that was its throat. Huge writhing tentacles sprout, which I guess is this little guy here. That's continuing onto the edge there. And then we have more. This is very like fae, nightmare fae creatures, I've got to say. Lavender lore words. It has a ram's head, horns curling upwards, but it's dressed in a Victorian ball gown, which I guess is this one. Animals make home in their ribs. Its arms are too long, twig fingers bound to twisted roots of hands. They don't like running water. This one's cut off, and then the last one says, something stitching makes strong wards. That's so creepy. I really love Under the Dust Jacket. That definitely makes up for how kind of underwhelming that the main cover is, I think. So, speaking of the book in question, let's read what it's actually about. So, this author, India Rose Bauer, was longlisted apparently for the Discoveries Prize, has a bunch of like short stories and stuff published, but I think this is their first actual novel. Hobbies involve, I really like this, involve attending pagan festivals, watching horror films whilst working as a librarian. Hey, that's kind of like me too. India Rose has a long-term disability and lives with her non-binary partner in Yorkshire. So, the actual story then, let us have a read. I'm just going to leave this here because this is a lot more aesthetic than me just showing you the blank cover. Most people have been devoured by the eldritch creatures. Sarah and her family have been fighting for survival, and the only thing that works against these monsters, these witches, is their knowledge of folklore and pagan rituals. Ooh, I guess, so they're not actually witches, they're just like survivors, from the sounds of it. They're a family. With a girl named Parsley, I remember reading this and being like, Parsley, suddenly appears in the garden of their current camp. She cannot remember where she came from or why she's there. As Sarah and Parsley begin to develop feelings for each other, that means it's queer! Yay! Disaster strikes, and Sarah's younger brother Noah is snatched by the witches. Is that what was happening on the back cover, I wonder then? Determined to find him, they set out across desolate moors full of merciless terror to hunt the very creature they've been hiding from. Can they succeed in saving Noah? Will Parsley and Sarah's burgeoning love survive these bloodthirsty witches? And who can Sarah trust in a world devoid of humanity? So yeah, I'm really excited about this. Honestly, like both of these books sound like bangers. I'm excited to read both of them, and hopefully I will get to them both pretty soon. Definitely this one, because the event I'm going to that she's going to be at is in April, so I definitely want to get to this one sooner rather than later. But yeah, that's it. That is the unboxing for January's Illumicrate and Evernight. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next video, stay safe, stay cozy, and I'll see you then. Bye!